guys, it's Quana back again with another review. This time I am reviewing somebody I used to know. It is directed by Dave Franco. Yes, Dave Franco, who is an actor in his own right, but also the brother of James Franco. And it stars Alison Brie, Dave Franco's wife, also an actress in her own right, most prominently known for her work on Community. It also stars Ellis from Insecure, and it has a, I guess, co-starring role for Kiersey Clemons, who I personally loved her in the live action remake of 101, no, sorry, Lady and the Tramp. I was going to say 101 Dalmatians, but it was Lady and the Tramp. And it also has Danny Pudi, so a reuniting of Alison Brie and Danny Pudi. He plays Jay Ellis's best friend in the movie. This movie just came out. It is a rom-com, and I'm going to tell you guys whether or not I think you should check it out. But if this is your first time, hi, welcome. My name is Quana, and I review movies for fun, and hopefully you will subscribe to my channel. All right, so let's get all into somebody that I used to know. I did not see a trailer for this. I finished watching a film in my film class with my film student, and I was going to be grading some papers, and it came scrolling across my screen, and I saw Jay Ellis. And so if you were an Insecure fan, you see one of the members of Insecure, and you click the video, and you don't really ask too many more questions than that. And so I clicked on it and was pleasantly surprised, although I will say this, my quick take about the movie is that it is slightly thin at parts. And what I mean by that is that sometimes the characters could have used a little bit more character development, and the plot could have used a little bit more fleshing out. And perhaps there were moments where we could have been, where we were given like montages, but we could have spent a little bit more time actually hearing the characters have a discussion with each other, because perhaps that would have made the ending more meaningful. But I really did enjoy this movie. So let me go ahead and set up the premise for you. Alison Brie plays a TV producer of a reality TV series. It's called Desert Island. It's kind of like Love Island, but with chefs. And her show is getting canceled, and so she ventures home to Leavenworth, I believe, to go see her mom. Her mom is played by the actress from the Airplane movies. I can't think of her name right now, but she catches her mom getting her best life on, and so she ends up venturing back into her small town, and she reunites with her ex, who she hasn't seen in 10 years. And this is played by Jay Ellis. His name is Sean, and they reunite for a night filled of reminiscing of their old times, and things get a little uncomfortable when Allie goes to kiss him and he does not reciprocate. She makes the quick decision that perhaps she needs to give their love a second chance. She was the one that broke things off with him, and so she shows up at his family home and is invited by his mother to stay for dinner. And while she's there, she realizes that she's not at any old dinner, but she's actually at a engagement celebration / pre-wedding celebration for Sean, who is about to get married to Cassidy, played by Kiersey Clemons. And she has to make the decision very quickly if this is going to become, in the words of Kiersey Clemons' character Cassidy, a Julia Roberts, my best friend's wedding kind of situation, where she's going to try to steal him back. Of course she is, because it would be a rom-com if she wasn't, right? And so she gets asked by Sean's mom, played by Abuela Claudia from In the Heights, who looks so young in this, by the way, that I was like, get it, Miss Olga. But she invites her to be the videographer for the wedding, which allows her an opportunity to get close to the bride and find out some things about her. And Cassidy is young and vivacious. She's a singer in a rock band, and she doesn't necessarily want to give all of that up, but she is kind of unattached from her own family and Sean's family is so accepting of her and just everything that she's ever wanted. And so they've really kind of fallen in love, but also rushed their relationship. And Allie has to decide if she is going to come in between Sean and Cassidy and fight for love for herself. It's as much of a rom-com and a kind of like will they, won't they for Allie and Sean as it is for just a coming of age for Allie of determining what is it that she wants in life and what is she willing to do. Is she willing to step outside of her own character? Has she lost her way? It's such a character-driven plot more than anything, although there are tons of hijinks, tons of frolicking fun, very reminiscent of like a Hangover or Bridesmaids, lots of nudity in the film. And it was an interesting watch. It was a good watch. Lighthearted moments at times, but times where it got really heavy. Honestly, the movie has a runtime of about an hour and 45 minutes. And while I think that was the perfect runtime, I just think that some of the characters needed a little bit more fleshing out. We spend a lot of time with Alison and Danny's characters, Allie and Benny, which was really nice kind of to see them reunited, especially from their time together on Community. But also, you spend so much more time building their characters, between the character building of Allie happening through the vehicle of Benny, and she spends very little time with the character of Sean, that it's really, you really don't get a sense of their like chemistry, their on-screen chemistry. There's a moment in the film that it feels as though there would be maybe a will they, won't they for Cassidy and Allie. And I would have been very interested to see where that movie would have gone. But at the end of it, there's a really happy ending. It is a classic rom-com in that you're going to feel satisfied with the way that things end for the characters. Although I think it brings up some really interesting questions around what someone is willing to give up to be in a relationship. Should women particularly give up who they are in order to be in a relationship, or should men be more accepting of the women as they are and not who they hope that they will become, in terms of the fact that like eventually they may become, if they're desiring that, they may be a wife or a mother. Will they accept them, and is there a way to be who you were before and also become someone new? And it brings us some really interesting questions around those ideas. I definitely think that, you know, for right now, it was perfect for streaming. I don't think that this was a film that would have gotten a lot of looks at the theater. It was kind of I don't want to say a sleepy film, but it was just very calm, even though there's some hijinks, some humorous moments with Joel Osment, and I always forget that he's a grown-up because I'm so often looking at movies from when he was a kid, and when I see him as a grown-up, I'm like, oh snap, that's right, he's grown now. So there were some really funny moments with him, but it was a good film overall. I don't think that it's going to be a classic film in the way of like any of the 90s rom-coms were. Like, something about rom-coms today, I don't think we've had a good classic rom-com in about 10-15 years. I feel like for the people who liked Made in Manhattan, I wasn't a Made in Manhattan fan, but I feel like Made in Manhattan was probably the last of like the really, really big classic rom-coms, unless you're counting films like Hangover and Bridesmaids, which I don't, because I consider those more like buddy comedy films. So yeah, I don't think we've had a classic rom-com in a while. But let me know down below in the comments what your favorite classic rom-com is, and I'll let you guys know mine as well, and I'll see you in the next video. Toodles!